Hi, welcome to the Mammoth Tech Show. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Frankie.
And today we'll be talking about the Nintendo Switch. It's been out about a month, a little over a month, and we'll just be talking about our experiences and what we found out about it, really. So, the main thing about the Switch is that it's a hybrid console, a console that you can take out and about, so portability and ergonomics are important. And whilst most people find its portable form, where these little things, the Joy-Cons, slide onto the side of the controller, the console, like this. Most people find that fine. That's not a problem. However, some people have said that this, the Comfort Grip or Puppy Dog controller as it's referred to affectionately, is less than comfortable. Personally, I find it fine. These little grips at the back fall nicely into the palm of your hand, and the layout is good. How have you found it? You've used it a little for Breath of the Wild.
A little bit, yeah. It takes a little bit of getting used to because it's not your conventional controller.
It's quite square.
It's quite square. The thumb grips are a bit weird because they're off-centered.
Yeah.
They're in a different place than each controller. I haven't played it for long enough to know whether or not it plays up my RSI or anything like that. Because I do have RSI. And I know some people have said that when playing these for a long time it's uncomfortable. But I find them fine.
Yeah, you can say that about most controllers. Truth to be told.
This is true.
Yeah, but I have to find this a very comfortable controller, certainly along the lines of an Xbox, certainly more comfortable than a PlayStation controller. And the compromise of having it like this, it works. I find it does. The only thing is the slight odd positioning of the minus button. Little bit of a reach to get it, but it's okay. And
it's nicely weighted.
It's nicely weighted.
I haven't got huge hands, so it fits nicely in my hands.
Yeah. The main thing that people do take away from this is give this a go first. Don't necessarily assume you're going to need a pro controller, because like me and like yourself, you could find this is perfectly good, and you don't need to spend that extra 60 odd pounds on the Pro Controller. I'm sure it's lovely, the Pro Controller. Certainly not knocking that. It's doubtless very, very nice. All the things we've heard about it say it's very good, but not necessarily necessary. You can just get on with this. Give it a go first. Don't necessarily buy one from the get-go. And the only thing this is missing that you'll often find on a normal controller is a D-pad, the little plus-shaped controller that you would normally get, which has now been replaced by buttons, because of course this has to be two controllers, which we'll get onto. And I've got to say that I haven't missed having a D-pad. Most games don't really use D-pads anymore. The only time they're used is literally for selecting things, up for map, left for inventory, all that sort of thing. So it's pretty natural just to replace it with buttons, and I've got to say I haven't missed it at all, not having a D-pad. And I've, even games where you would normally use a D-pad, I generally use an analog stick anyway. So yeah, I haven't missed the D-pad at all. So separately, they are quite small, these little things, and they do come with a little bumper that you can click on the top to make the shoulder buttons a bit bigger. But for the fact it does give you two controllers for the price of one, effectively, and then you don't have to go off and spend extra on the second controller from the get-go. It's a good little compromise. I mean, they are ideal. They're not as good as a Pro controller or even this on its own. But being able to do this is most other consoles can't do. They simply can't. You can't normally break your console controller in half and hand one half to somebody else, and bingo, you've got 2 controllers. And if you do find this a little bit uncomfortable, you can get little rubber or silicone grips that they'll fit into and make it a bit more comfortable. We need to give those a try, don't we, at some point?
Well, we need to get hold of some because we haven't got those. Yeah. I mean, I find them much more comfortable with the bumper rail on.
Yeah, the bumper
They're
rail.
a little uncomfortable without, I find. And the bumper rail also adds a little bit of weight to it, doesn't it?
Yeah. But without them, they're just on their own, they're fine. They do work. As with everything engineering, it's a compromise. All compromises have to make, but it certainly works in all aspects. Connected to the side of the console, in the comfort grip, and on their own, they all work. And there's no disastrous thing that you definitely can't use it in this format or that format with it. Just like anything in life, you can't tell someone that this is horribly uncomfortable, it's definitely not going to fit you, because we all have different size hands, and you can't tell someone that this isn't going to fit their hands any more than you can tell someone that a pair of shoes won't fit them because they don't fit you. It's a nonsense argument. Ergonomics and the fit of things are unique to you, so give it a go first. Where I would find a criticism of the Switch is its dock. Definitely. The weird way you have to drop it in from the top, a la a toaster, is very odd.
Yes. And isn't that the only way that you can charge the Joy-Cons, unless you want to buy something separate?
Yes, the only way you can charge the Joy-Cons, because they've got little power packs built into them, is clicking them onto the side of your Joy-Con and putting your Joy-Con on in the dock. They do last for a long time. We haven't had them, pack up on us at all. So they're fine. But yeah, the dock, having to slot it in from the front, does restrict where you can place it. Yes,
that would be the major criticism I'd have, because normally you'd have a games console, you'd put it on the shelf underneath your TV, out the way, so you can just switch it on or lift out your controller as and when you want it.
Yeah, but
because of this one, you have to lift it in and out vertically.
And you don't have the clearance above the console, the dock, in order to take it out. So it does restrict where you can place your Switch. So that was an odd design decision, and also the fact that it's apparently scratching screens, because there are, you may well have heard stories of the screens on these being scratched, and the main culprit has been the dock. Hasn't happened to us, luckily. We've put a screen protector in. If you want to learn a bit more about screen protectors, we did a video a few weeks ago about that. We'll put a link in the video to that. Have a look at that. And you can get them in film form, which is like the one we have here, or you can get tempered glass, which gives you a bit of extra protection. But the film ones are fine, because obviously that getting scratched means you can just rip it off, put a new one on, and at least the screen of your Switch is safe.
Yes.
So you've got that as a barrier. So you just got to be a bit careful. Why they've done it like that with the big panel in front of the dock, I don't know. It doesn't serve any purpose. It's kind of ugly, gets in the way, and restricts where you can put the dock. If some third parties could produce a nicer dock, a bit more like the old Wii U gamepad cradle, we would be very grateful.
yes, definitely.
Yes, we would review it. No problem at all. No problem. Send it along to us and we'll review it. No trouble. And that's really the only design decision I would have a pop at, so to speak. Is it worth getting a Switch at this early stage? I would say definitely yes. For Breath of the Wild alone, oftentimes it's fun to get involved in a console early in its life and just watch its progression through. But it definitely has a killer app in the shape of Breath of the Wild, and it's definitely worth getting a Switch just for that alone. There's tens of hours of gameplay in that, as you're probably well aware, one of the most critically acclaimed games around, and it's going to be a where were you moment in gaming, certainly for this period. You know, where were you when Breath of the Wild came out? Were you playing Breath of the Wild, or were you playing Mass Effect Andromeda or something along the lines of that? No, you know, you'll want to be able to say you were there, you played Breath of the Wild. Yeah, definitely go for the Switch. Gets a thumbs up from Man of Tech Show, doesn't it?
Definitely.
So, what have your thoughts on the Switch been so far since launch? Have you got one and have got something to say, or are you thinking about getting one and have got some questions? Leave them in the comments below. If you like this video, give us a like, and if you'd like to see some more, then hit that subscribe button. I've been Jeff.
I've been Frankie.
This has been the Mammoth Tech Show, and you've been very kind to watch. Thank you very much. I've been Jeff.
I've been Frankie.
This has been the Mammoth Tech Show, and you've been very kind to watch. Thank you very much.
Sorry, I tried to hold it in until you'd got to the thank you very much.
Think we can edit that out.
I tried to hold it in as long as